to infinity and beyond. Let's get to the workshop. This episode and the next episode are going to be all about the lights on the 60s truck. Now these are not aftermarket lights, they're not lights off something else. I'm going to make everything from scratch. That's going to be the lights on the truck. And this week we're going to make that main headlight, and it's an infinity light. Imagine that. Infinity and beyond. Let's take a look and see how that went when we actually made it, which was in the past. The infinite past, rather than the infinite future. It's all about the infinity. Oh yeah. Right then, so this front sort of binnacle cyclops eye thing. What I've got to do here is I'm going to make this essentially into an infinity mirror. But an infinity mirror with light bulbs in it as a headlight. Now I know, before in the comments, this is illegal. And you can't do this, but you can have it as a running light. That's why we've got those grotesque pop-up lights on the front of the truck. For the law, not for the look. Could be a t-shirt, that. It's for the law, not the look. So, how does an infinity mirror work? Infinity mirror works like this. On the front, you have a half mirror. Like, say, a tinted window. We can do that. At the back, we have a mirror. We can do that. In between there, you have a ring of lights, and then when the light refracts between the two pieces, it looks infinite. Look like it goes through the car. So what we need now, first off, we need a mirror that will fit into here. As if by magic, here is a piece of mirror. Still got its protective stuff on, don't want to mess that up. So this is going to sit in here and sit behind my rebate that I've created there. So this thing's got this rebate in that I made, and that will sit sort of down there. So now what we need is some lights that are going to go round it. So, ta-da! Here's some lights. And I've gone for these, which are, they look like a light bulb. You're not going to see the threaded bit, you're probably just going to see that much. These are in a warm white, which all the light on the car is going to be. So it's got that sort of, even though we're using a lot of LEDs and a little bit of technology in the lights, we want everything to have that warm sort of incandescent glow of an old school light bulb. So, boom, there is our bulbs. They're going to go around there, but this width of this bulb, we now need a strip to go around here, which is about as wide as that bulb. So, shall I do that annoying hand thing again? I think so. Ta-da! So we have this piece of aluminium. Piece of aluminium will go around there. I'm going to drill holes in this so the bulbs go all the way round. So all we need now is the front piece, the main sort of cover for this whole light. And yeah, I'm going to do it again. I'm doing it again. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. Ta-da! Here's a bit. So this fits in here really nicely. So that fits in like that. And then this bit is going to be glued on the back of that. Then, whoa, wait a minute. And the bulbs will be in there. And then that will be glued on the bottom of there. So for maintenance and stuff, we can easily just take this out. It'll probably screwed in some way that I've not thought of yet. But we'll be able to take this out, change bulbs, replace the LEDs, whatever we've got to do. And it should look good. So now, all we need to do is finish it. So, it's not finished yet. It doesn't matter many times I do it. In real life, I have to make all these bits, So, let's get on. Let's get some holes drilled in this and let's mount them bulbs. Right, so this piece of plastic, not just any old piece of plastic, it's a piece of polycarbonate, because obviously everything on that car sits quite low to the ground. But this is going to sit low, it's going to get stone chips, you know what I mean? Like taking it to the car wash and stuff, this won't scratch and it'll be super, super strong and take all the impacts. Obviously it's not going to be white, it's going to be clear. This is just a protective coating. yeah, that's what this is. This is all going to go together and it's going to look awesome. This piece of aluminium is where all those lights are going to fit in. I've just sort of super glued this together. I could have welded it, but I don't think it's necessary because this is going to be bonded down as well. And I need to drill a load of holes in it. Now, I've already measured around here, done some maths. So I'm going to mark this at 7cm intervals and then drill around this so I can mount these bulbs in there. And I've left enough room around this edge within the light for all the wires to run as well, because that's quite important, because there's not that much room. Everything's about room and fitment. So let's drill some holes and put some lights in.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face.
So I piloted it all and then I drilled that hole and realised, how am I going to get these lights on this string just with this bit sticking up? It's impossible. So what I've had to do there is slot the back so that I can actually pull that in and sit that in there, so it looks all very nice. So now to drill another 15 holes, cut another 15 slots.
Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy. Don't think I'll get home safe. Taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots. Are you coming with me?
This is the bit that's going to hold the bulbs in this infinity mirror. So we're going to have to paint this, and to paint it, all I'm going to use is some of this Rust-Oleum metallic gold, which on the outside of a car probably wouldn't last too long, but this is going to be locked in, encased in all that acrylic, so it'll be fine, I think. Anyway, let's give it some paint. I have, by the way, already primed this, so I've etch primed it on the inside, so this should all go perfectly to plan. The thing's tinted as well. It's going to be tinted, so it will look gold on the outside anyway. So, you know, the quality of this doesn't have to be amazing, but it's got to be good, right? And there we go, painted, and in a while that'll be ready for assembly. That paint's dried, and what I've done now is glued the bulbs into there. Da-da-da-da. And the way I glued them, I had to get them into position, and I might have fixed them in place, and of course might have fix is never going to hold it. It will hold for a bit, but it will easily snap. So what I did is I blobbed some PU sealant on, and what that's done is held them firmly in place forever. The next step will be to mount this. So we will go mirror, then the actual outside, the lens, if you will, of the light. But first, this is going to need some sort of edging on it. So I need to make the edge of this gold. And what I'm going to use is like a sticky back plastic where the sticky side, the side that you see through the glass, is the finished side. So that'll go on there. And then we'll have a nice gold band all the way around here, looking from the outside. And within that band, we'll be able to bond this to the back of this without seeing that bond, so we don't have a big squidge of sealant around the edge. So we'll get that stuck on. Then that can be bonded onto there. And this can also be bonded to here. Another thing that this is going to have, of course, it won't be clear. This is going to be mirrored in gold. So this is going to be really confusing, but so it will have a mirrored edge that will be gold mirror, which will be solid, and that will be the stick-on stuff. But then we'll use a gold tint to give this that semi-mirror we need to make the infinity illusion. So gold around the edge, but then gold in the middle, which is translucent, and then that'll be it. Really, how much clearer can I make it? That sounds confusing even to me. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So let's get on and do it. Who's in the house? Me, actually, in my actual house. Because, yeah, sometimes the workshop is just too dusty and dirty, and what I'm doing is a lot of like window tinty stuff. So we're looking at the front light. Look, I've actually put some I put some batteries in this, so da-da. That light is what's going to make this infinity mirror illusion in that square front bit on the 60s truck. Now, if I just glued that onto there, that was clear. Even if it was tinted, you would see the glue when this lit up, shining through there. So, I need to make a border on here that you're not going to see the glue through. But I want everything to be gold. Now, normally, and we did this on the non-standard, on the Enzyme project, when we bonded the rear window in. We've done it on the back windows of all the trucks where I put like a band of silicone around the edge, and that's masked, so it's got a nice clean edge. Then that's bonded in, so you can't see any of the splurge around it. But this time I want it gold, so we're going to use some really special stuff. Now, the stuff we're going to use is, it's like a sticky back plastic, like a wrap, but the sticky side is the gold side that's shiny and gold. So once you get it on nice and clear, you know, I can cut out the middle bit, have a nice band of gold around there. Yeah, it's going to look really good. I'm going to try and cover this, get it all right, not get any dust in it, because I'm in my adequately clean home. Okay then, so here's the stuff that's going to make the back of this glass look gold. Da-da-da. And it does just look like gold wrap, but it really is. It's not this side that's really gold, it's the inner. I did this actually on the windows on Automatron. So if you see a picture of Automatron, zoom in on them back windows. I did it there as well. This is what we have. So this is our acrylic sitting on our framework, on the mirror. And we can see all the bits we don't want to see, which is basically going to be this edge, and we don't want to see any of this wiring. So I'm going to get the Sharpie and I'm going to draw around here, and that will be where I'm going to cut around to take the centre out when I've done this bit. So that's on. Now, I've got to trim out the middle bit now, so I need to transfer this mark to the back so that I can go around there with the scalpel, make that dead right. So I think what I'll do is I'll put it up against the window and then just trace it in, then tidy it up. done that. We have our band round here, but what's all this? What's all this goo that it's left? Urgh! So, I've now got to try and find a way of getting this goo off without damaging the acrylic. Suggestions on a postcard, please. You know, I have no idea how to get this off. You've got to be really careful with acrylic because sometimes you put a solvent on this and it crazes it all out. So, yeah. I'll be back in a minute. That was a nightmare. There's a lot of goo. So much goo. I don't know why the goo stayed on and the backing came off. I've no idea anyway. The goo has gone. But a panel wipe got it off. So, there we go. All the bad bit is covered. Da, da, da. But now we need this bit to be gold as well. But we need this to be gold in a different way. We need this to be a semi-mirror. So essentially window tint, like a one-way mirror. You can see out, no one can see in. You know how tinted windows work. So I'm going to now window tint the middle bit. What I'm worried about here though is this edge between this and that. Now it's tiny, less than a millimetre, but I'm going to have to cut perfectly to that edge. I'm not going to be able to overlap because that will actually hold. It will hold the window tint slightly away. So, who knows how this is going to go. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. I'm sure I've tinted windows many, many times. I'm sure this is going to be absolutely fine. We're now on the coffee table in the lounge. It is all together. Took me a few goes to get this right, but I think I've got it there now. So let's have a look. What will the 60s truck main headlight look like? And it will look like... Oh, yes! And those small bulbs really have given it like a fairground sort of feel to it. And I like to think of that car as having a bit of a fairground sideshow freak show sort of look, and it really has. It's come out good, but it really is to infinity and beyond. Right, so this is just the level of detritus now in the living room, and I've managed to make our living room almost as bad as a workshop in the space of just a few hours. But now that's done, we've got that infinity mirror done on there. Now I've just got to do the other light, the strip, the main like cyclopsy light around the front of the 60s truck, and also the rear light as well. I've got to do that in a similar thing. I know they've not got the infinity mirror thing, but they're going to be tinted and have that same sort of solid gold frame around on the back of the acrylic to hide all the, you know, the rebate that it's stuck to and that. So, time to have a little bit of a tidy and crack on. So then, those bulbs, I put them in. They look pretty good. I was happy with how they look, but we've changed all the lights on the truck to run on strip LEDs. There's these like new, like really cool LEDs. We've put them in all the other lights. Now I was thinking, is it really going to match? And in the end, I had to make a decision, and even though it had taken a long time to make that ring that looked like a tambourine of bulbs, it had to go. So I ripped it all to pieces, threw away the bulbs, and now we've put in these strip LEDs, which I think are called cob LEDs. So they're diffused into strips rather than seeing points of light, which I didn't really want, but now technology seems to have moved on, and that's good for me. So let's have a look what I did instead. So I put these cob LEDs all the way around here. The Messiah wire, he soldered this up and made a very neat job of it. All we have to do is hook this up. Now I'm going to hook it up just to it all runs on 24 volt as well, so there's some real light with it. And I'm just going to hook it up to a 24 volt transformer, but this all works via a remote and it fades in and out. It does a few tricks. You can adjust the brightness, stuff like that. And these remotes will be part of the dashboard, so we can just use it from there. I think we'll even have a spare remote, so it can be used from outside the car as well. So it really is going to be quite spectacular. So there it is. To get this in position on here was quite difficult. We had to stick it just a little bit, and then it's been like sealed on. I had to be very careful not to get any sealant under these bits. It was all quite difficult. But then again, this is the 60s truck, which is, in general, quite difficult. So have a look at how this looks. So, this is golden window tint. This is a regular mirror. So we drop that on there. You'll have to excuse that this is incredibly dusty, but it does seem to attract the dust in here because it's incredibly dusty, because I'm doing a lot of body work at the minute. A lot of body work on the 60 truck, and it's nearly there. But you know what I mean? That's for an episode in the future. That's not for today. So, let's have a look. We hook this up, and boom. There it is. Now, this isn't the finished thing. This is going to have a few more bits to it, and a few more bits in there to sort of really set off that infinity illusion. I'm thinking that's pretty good, and it really is. I don't know if the camera picks it up. It is so bright. It is so bright. Like, all I can see now is that every time I blink. Yeah, there it is. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, it's going away. I say it's over. It's all safe. Right, this is going to match up with the big strip light on the front and with the strip light at the back. They're not infinity, but they're super cool in this sort of like cyberpunky way. So, looking good. This is what I'm going for. And like I say, I am going to add to this. So stay tuned for more developments on the awesome headlight of the 60s truck. So you may also notice that this stuff is not what I said it was going to be. This is like this gold leatherette stuff that sticks onto there. Now, I did do it with the other stuff, but I couldn't for the life of me get it good enough that it had no imperfections. And this stuff I'd already chose to be on the wheel spats. Now, over here, I have one of the inserts from the wheel spat, and here we have it. So what you've got to think is, this is just the background really. We're going to have all those little round buttons that are like golden screw caps, and there's going to be hundreds of them on all of these wheel covers. But this stuff, which I found on Amazon, is just perfect. You know, it's got like, for the 60s look, I would say this is so quintessentially 60s. I couldn't have found anything better. But this and that, you know, it starts to tie things together. And this effect, this stuff, is going to turn up on a lot of different bits of the car. I actually, to make sure this was good enough, I covered part of my phone case in it, and it's worn really well for about 6 months. So yeah, I think it's going to be all right. It doesn't scratch or anything, so this is going to turn up on the interior and on lots of details around the car. And I've got to admit, I've never actually had one of these in the workshop. I did all this in the house, as you've seen. But look, here's the car, and here's where this goes. So I just literally can't resist it. So, yay, check it out. Now when this is fully done, I'm going to regrind the edge of this and put a U-shaped section of gold around it, so when it goes in we'll be able to pack that gold out and it will fit this absolutely perfect. And don't forget that even this part is going to be painted in the gold paint, and then with all those little gold buttons all over this, it is going to look show car extraordinaire. It really is. Next time we're going to be looking at even more lights and just more of a general update on the 60s truck. It's going to be awesome. So in the meantime, don't forget, click subscribe, click the bell icon, comment down below, share everywhere, and then also you can do the buy me a coffee thing if you've enjoyed this episode, and the link to that is down below. So until next time, I thank you very, very much, and good light. On this truck, all the lights have caused a lot of trouble. The lights on the back that we're making from scratch, you know, the fact that it looks like it's got totally illegal lights, but then we have to put other lights in to make it legal. All of that on a car, and I'm not really talking about this now, I'm talking about any car you build. Back in the day, Barris, the Alexander brothers, Roth, they had a lot of lights to choose from. They had all the lights of the 50s automotive industry just sitting in scrapyards. I have none of that, except for remade 59 Caddy lights that are ubiquitous with the custom car scene. They're literally everywhere. But making your own lights is really, really difficult. But my God, it sets your car aside from everything else. How many cars do you know that you recognise and spot by their lights? You look at the car, you think, oh, or lights, you know what they're off of. Like 32 Ford Teardrop, or the 59 Caddy lights, some Buick lights, but you just know them to look at. But if you make your own lights, that is gone, and your car will seem more unique and stand out a lot more from the rest of the crowd that are just either using off-the-shelf stuff or stuff, let's face it, we've seen it all before. So, try and make your own lights. It's a great little project, and it really will make your car just that little bit cooler.